The grand opening. The tunnel was nearly completed. Itself was very long, and the workmen had to wire up lights inside to see it properly. One day, Rosie and Viv were shunting trucks in the yard in replacement of Thomas and Percy, who were having a rest. Daisy. Well, I am glad I don't have to go into the tunnel. It looks long and inside looks spooky. Well, it's well lit, said Viv. You don't have to worry. But Daisy still disliked the idea. What's the matter? Scared of the dark? Said Rosie cheekily, but Daisy didn't reply and she left. The next day, Daisy is displeased to find out she had been chosen to be the first engine to go through it. Daisy picked up the engineers at the station before the tunnel. As she approached the tunnel, Daisy was still afraid, so jammed her brakes on before she could enter the tunnel. Come on, Daisy, said her driver. There's nothing to be afraid. Her driver tried to coax her in, but it is no good. Daisy refused to move. The Fat Controller eventually decided to get Toby to take the engineers through the tunnel. Her driver continued trying to persuade Daisy to go through the tunnel, but she refused. Eventually, the driver gave up. It wasn't until Edward pulled up beside her. Is there something wrong, Daisy? Eventually, Daisy had to admit to Edward. Well, actually, I heard that you got derailed in the tunnel, and it got me worried that what if I derailed at the tunnel too? Oh, that, said Edward. Was that's just an accident. And Miss Jenny had confirmed that the track was alright, so there's nothing to be worried about. That made Daisy feel better. With his encouragement, she makes it through the tunnel and is quite proud of herself for being so brave. Very soon, the Fat Controller is preparing to have the tunnel declared officially open. The engines are excited. There is bound to be a big celebration. I heard that the Fat Controller is inviting a guest of honor to cut the grand ribbon, said Duck. Thomas thinks it all sounds grand. He does not want to miss it. The engines are washed and polished for the big opening day. Thomas looks like new as he puffs along his branch line with Annie and Clara. The passengers know there must be a special occasion, and Thomas tells them that today is the day the new tunnel is going to be officially open. He was looking forward to it and wants to hurry through his stations so he can finish early, but his driver and guard will not let him. On his last journey of the day, Thomas arrived at the station before the tunnel. The passengers climb aboard and Thomas is ready to go, but the signal does not change. The station master tells Thomas he must wait for an important passenger who is late. Thomas is disappointed. Now I will miss the grand opening. He waited and waited. 22 minutes later, the important passenger finally arrives. Thomas pulls away. He hardly left time for the passengers to get off his train before he hurries off to the grand opening of the tunnel. Thomas thinks he is late, but when he arrives, he finds everyone is waiting for him. There you are, Thomas. We've been waiting for you. We can't start without you. Why? Asked Thomas. Then he soon realized that the important passenger is the Fat Controller's guest of honor. The important visitor made a short speech and said, I declare this tunnel open, and he cut the ribbon. The engines whistled and cheered.